The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube. Ooh, what was that? YouTube. And on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you can see my commentary on the news, and you are invited to post your point of view, agree with me or not. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated coast to coast across the United States of America into 12 million additional households. I'm your host, Gary Baumgarten. The lovely actress Janine Turner, who my only disappointment about having her on the show today is that unfortunately she was unable to come into the studio because I am a huge fan from back in the Northern Exposure days, will be with us in just a second. Before we start, Alan, you know, a lot of people, and the Obama campaign in particular, are really looking for a change, both Americans and people abroad, in the White House, thinking that perhaps foreign policy in the United States will change, the United States will get along better with other nations around the world. I don't know if you heard about this, but the Foreign Minister of France, Bernard Kouchner, I believe he pronounces his name, said in a speech today that the magic is over. The United States is through as this godlike country that has influence around the world. Kind of an interesting comment for him to make. What do you make of that?
Well, coming from the French, and again, I'm not trying to knock the French because they are still great allies to us, but sometimes that they play Francophile politics to try and separate themselves from all things American. They do not like American, and so there's always been a lot of culture bashing. Gary, I'm losing. I have a virus coming in on me now. I may have to go offline.
Oh my God, he's got a virus coming. You know, most people, they don't get diagnosed. Oh, you mean your computer has a virus? I thought he was getting ill on us. Hey, Boaz, do you remember last month when...
Hello! That was quick. I ran all the way over here.
All right.
What I was saying is that the French tend to pride themselves on all things French. And at the same time, the French certainly know from being at one time a superpower back in the day, like pre-1914, they certainly have experience in losing their place in the world. America still dominates the world in exporting its culture and intellectual property. At the same time, yes, in the last 8 years, we've certainly, as a country, have taken our lumps internationally. But again, and I think that if you look at it, it's not so much the American people, because I think around the world, most people know the American people for what we really are, which are kind and generous people.
Well, actually, a friend of mine just came back from France and had a American flag on his backpack and was warmly welcomed by everybody he met.
Look, I've been to France a number of times, at least a dozen times, and I've never had a problem there. Speaking French or speaking English. But like I said, there's always been problems with the cultural aspects, dominating France. And again, the rest of the world don't seem to mind, having our TV shows or, our movies or anything like that. But what I was alluding to before is that I think they really just don't like where the current administration has taken the American
foreign policy.
Yeah. And it certainly has been a sticking point. Iraq was a major stumbling block between U.S. and French and German relations. At the same time, in Afghanistan, the French give us probably the most intel on the ground than any of the other allies that we work with in that region.
Cool. Thank you for that.
I'll see if I can get back online.
Yeah, when
Join
you
the
said you had a
show.
virus, I wasn't going to let you sit next to me.
Oh, my
Hey, boys, you remember Michael Harrington, the publisher of Talkers Magazine, was on a couple weeks ago?
Yes, I do, absolutely.
They were kind enough to do a beautiful story about including me in the March edition of Talkers Magazine about the state of internet radio. Unfortunately, it's Lou Dobbs, my old buddy from my days at CNN, who's on the cover, not me. But if you thumb back to page, I don't know, 8 or 9 or something like that, and if you have a magnifying glass, there's a picture of me. But it's a little tiny thumbnail magnifying. But it was a very nice and generous article. Kind of made me look like I knew what I was talking about. So, Talkers Magazine, pick it up. Or subscribe, or get it online. Or not. The Bible of Talk Radio. Our guest today is actress Janine Turner, which is really the reason why all of you are here today. Janine has just written a new book called Holding Her Head High, 12 Single Mothers Who Championed Their Children and Changed History. The book chronicles the stories of single mothers throughout history. For example, I didn't know this, Hillary Clinton is not the first woman to run for the White House. Widowed and single mother Belva Lockwood forged that new ground in 1884. 12 women in all are chronicled in the book, penned by the Northern Exposure actress and 3-time Golden Globe nominee. Turner knows from which she speaks. She is a single mother, and she examines the life of these women and explores how they advocated for their children to make a difference. And during her research, Turner scoured thousands of historical documents to unearth proof of the impact these single women had. She grew up as a probably, I guess, religiously conservative Baptist in Texas, and now is living in the heart of Sodom and Gomorrah here in New York City. Janine Turner, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Hi, thanks for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Hey, listen, we appreciate it. I cannot thrilled I am to have you as a guest on my show. You were the reason I tuned in every week to Northern Exposure, and I know you've been doing some things, I think 2 or 3 different projects on Lifetime recently, including one current.
Yes. Well, I did a series, Strong Medicine, for 2 years, and then I've done lots of movies of the weeks that end up on Lifetime, No Regrets, and all the ones I've done. And then I just did another one for Lifetime entitled Primal Doubt, and that'll be out sometime this year as well. And I'm getting ready to go do a movie next month with my old Leave It to Beaver co-star from the movie, which I'm sure you all saw. That's a joke.